Hi, welcome to Camp Happy Mail. I'm so glad that you're here with me today because today we have a fun project. I have a birthday card to make, and I'm not just making a standard A2 birthday card this time. I am going to make a pop-up box card, and if you don't know what that is, it essentially is this. This is a three-dimensional box that folds down and fits in an A2 size envelope, and you can decorate these however you want to decorate them. And today this is what we're going to make, and ironically we are using elephants because the recipient loves elephants. So this set is from Lawn Fawn. It is old as the hills. This was one of the first die sets I ever bought many years ago whenever I first got back into card making. And I only pull this out for special occasions because it is a little time consuming and it's a little tedious to use, but it makes a beautiful card. So this is the main piece. This is what makes up the box. You have to cut two of these. So you essentially need enough paper to cut two of these. And then these are all the pieces that are used to decorate the box. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the die cutting ahead of time just to save us some time. And then I'll come back and we'll start the assembly process. Okay, so we are back and I have all of the pieces cut that we're going to need to assemble this. I know it looks like a lot of pieces, and it is a lot of pieces, but it's going to come together really easy. This is probably the easiest way to make a box card. There are directions for, if you don't have this die, there are directions out there on the internet for doing all the measuring and cutting all the pieces by hand. I opt to do it this way because it's a lot easier. And the good thing is Lawn Fawn doesn't really retire their things, so you can still get this. Even though this came out years ago, you can still get this from them. And it is their pop-up box die. So let's go ahead and start assembling. One thing that I am going to do is I am going to use a tape runner on this. I've got a Scotch ATG gun. This is from back whenever I used to scrapbook. I am going to use this to put this together. It's going to hold together just fine. There are some of these boxes that I made many years ago using this, and they are still holding up. They haven't fallen apart. So you could use liquid glue if you want to. Your drying time is going to be a little bit hard or a little bit longer. I would highly recommend that you use an ATG gun or some kind of good permanent tape runner. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build the base of the box. So I'm just going to slide all of these out of the way a little bit. Now there are score lines on each of these. They're one score line per each that goes vertically. And then there is a score line on the tab. So I guess there's two score lines per each. So we're going to go ahead and score these. And now we need to join our two pieces together. So I'm going to put tape runner on this tab. And that was on the wrong side. Because I want the tabs to be on the inside so you don't see them, I need to put the tape runner on this side. And then we're going to line this up. And actually we're going to do it this way. We're going to line it up. And this is what will eventually make the box. So now we're going to attach the inside pieces that will hold all of the cute little elephants. So each of these inside base tabs have score lines on them. So you want to go ahead and score those. Okay, and that's the 4 of them. And the easiest way to do this is to apply tape runner on this edge and then line them up on the inside starting here. And we're going to work our way across this panel. And that's the first one. You want to try to keep them as even lined up with the others as you can. Okay. And now, this is probably the most tricky part of the entire thing, is we need to put the tape runner on the ends of these and then fold the box up so that they join over on this side. And I will try to show this the best that I possibly can. You may have to work this in one by one without sticking them together. It might be easier to start with the outside one first. And then let's get the inside ones put in. You want to get them as straight as possible as you can going across so that it looks like that on the inside. And then you want to press them down so that they stick really well. don't have something lined up right. Okay, and the other thing that you want to remember is whenever you're joining these across on the other wall, you want to make sure that you are along the top edge of this flap. That way, whenever your box is folded up, it will fold straight. So it should look like this on the inside, and this one is a little crooked. And if you're careful, you can pull them back apart again to realign them and get them exactly where you need them to be. And like I said, that's the trickiest part of the whole thing, is to get those pieces in. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and put some tape runner down along this edge so we can seal the box. Okay, and this is what your box should look like. Now, what you want to do is you want to leave the back flap standing up. Even though there's a score line there, you don't want to bend that down. But you do want to bend down your side flaps and your front flap. And that's essentially what your box looks like. So now we get to do the fun part of doing the decorating. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere all of these panels to the sides and to the back. And I am going to use liquid glue for those. So your little squares go on the sides. Okay, and I apparently need to cut another panel for on the front, because one of these goes on the back and one of them goes here. So let's go ahead and adhere this one up here. Oops. Okay, and then underneath we have a big panel. And then we have 2 side panels. All right, so let me go ahead and cut one more of these, but out of this paper, and I'll be back. Okay, now I've cut this piece, so we're going to go ahead and put this one up here. And this one goes on the back. This one will go on the bottom, but I want to write on this piece first. Okay, so that is the basics of our card. So now I'm going to go ahead and create the post for the banner. And these are the little pennants for the banner. So these are the posts, and then these are the strings. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those together. Now you don't have to do it this way. After I've made a couple of these, this is the best way I've found to do this, is I glue the posts together part way, leaving the top part not glued, so that I can sandwich this in between the two pieces, and that seems to hold it better. You don't have to do it that way. You can simply just cut one of each of the banner posts and then just glue your banner string to that. But this just seems to give it a little bit more strength if you double it. And then we're going to go ahead and glue these two pieces together. And now I'm going to go ahead and assemble the actual banner with the string. Okay, so there is a score line on each of the banner pieces. I'm going to go ahead and fold those in half and write the recipient's name, the letters for her name, across these, and then we'll attach them to our banner. Okay, so full disclosure on this, I had to redo the banners. I had originally used the pointy banners to do this, and whenever I started putting them across here, they were too big. So if you are going to personalize your banners with somebody's name, if the name is 5 characters long, these will work fine. But I've got 6 characters, so I switched over to this set of banners. Now there is another set of banners in here that are small triangles, and you can fit many more of these across here. But I went with these, so I went ahead and redid the banners, and now we're going to go ahead and attach these to our post with the string. Now you might have to hold these a little bit to get them to stay till the glue sticks to itself. And I attached the first one, and then I'm going to attach the last one. And that's so that I can space out the others in between. Okay, and I will be able to have some space in between these. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to attach it to the back panel. All right, and now the fun part. See all these pieces in here? These are Lawn Fawn elephants. They are from a couple of different sets. They make the cutest elephant sets. I will link these below. I think they're called Elephants on Parade, and then there's an add-on set. But again, I'll link them below. So there's all kinds of elephants, and I'm not going to use all these on this card, but just to give you an idea. And I did color all these ahead of time, and I don't have the dies for them, but I cut them out on my Scan and Cut. And that was a beautiful thing to be able to do. And then there's a couple of different sizes of elephants, and then there's a couple little mice. And there's some cupcakes and some flowers and some hearts. And then there's some banners. More cupcakes. The cupcakes have peanuts in them. More little elephants, so you can make a little elephant parade if you want to. There's some bubbles, so if you want the elephants to be blowing bubbles. There's some crowns, so you can put some little crowns on your elephants. Whoops, that's sideways. So there's all kinds of little decorative elements. Now, if you were making a baby card, there's little baby bottles, but we aren't making a baby card, so we won't be using those. More bubbles. More hearts. So now I just have to figure out how I want to decorate the inside of my card. Little mice, little elephants. All of these were colored with Copic markers. You can literally color them with whatever you have. Another little crown, little flowers. Okay, so we got lots of stuff to work with here. Okay, so I may put one of these in the very back, and then maybe we'll do some elephants on parade here holding some banners and things. I like these elephants. They're a little large, so maybe we won't put one back there, but maybe we'll do like an elephant here, and then put a little one tagging along behind him. The key to it as well is you need to make sure that nothing you put in here is going to go beyond the edges too far, because you need this to be able to fold up to fit into an envelope. So you have to be mindful of that. So let's go ahead and glue him in. Or her. I don't know if it's a him or a her. Okay. And I'm just checking to make sure that when I fold this down that the trunk isn't going to stick out too far before I press it down. All right, and let's add a little elephant behind her. We could give this elephant a flag, but I think it's going to stick up too far, so maybe we'll just attach about we do some little bubbles coming out of this elephant's nose? Or maybe we could give him a banner. Yeah, because that one won't stick up too far. Maybe we'll put a couple little elephants in here. How about we give one of these, how about some little bubbles? Maybe we give this one a cupcake. Or maybe we could give this one a banner over here. Now we'll put another little elephant up in the front. We could give this one a cupcake. We'll give this one a peanut. So really, you can decorate your boxes any way that you want to, depending on what stamp set you're using. I've done this box with pigs. I've done it now with elephants. I've done it in a baseball theme. I've done it with rabbits. I've done it with deer. I've done it with dragons. So depending on which set you're using, you can pretty much decorate this any number of ways, and it's still going to come out cute regardless of what you do. And really, you could just keep going and keep going until you run out of pieces. And I think we're going to stop right there. Actually, you know what? Let's put some little flower pieces in. And one last piece. Oops. All right, I think we're gonna stop there. So this is the box. It folds up just like this. It fits in an A2 size envelope. when they open it up, there's all kinds of cute little elephants in there. And then the undersides are decorated. And then after I write it out, this panel will go on the back, and I'll probably put a cupcake and a mouse on the back. So this is our card for the day. And if you're interested, again, I will link this set below. Make super cute cards. You can customize these any way you want to customize them. And it's a nice surprise whenever they open it up and pull it out of the envelope. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this coming together, and I will see you in the next video.